is the who's. We are going to be forced to come back to a level of, can you identify with the community, with the needs of the community? Then I will put you anywhere you want to go.
So I think that is a very noble point that you have just brought forth, and it will help us to just learn from Julie. And I must say, Julie, I am so encouraged to see you saying, I am here as a woman and I want to run for office. My question to you will be, where does the courage come from?
I think when it comes to leadership, people have never agreed on is leaders born or leader made. I think that is something that people have never agreed. But I think the courage comes in from the passion. Like there's that place you want to take your society to. Is that level that you want to see your society one of the days being. So I think that is what keeps you, keeps pushing you. Is that driving you? And yeah, the courage comes in. Yeah, so then the other thing is, when it comes to leadership, especially not in organizations but in the society. In the society we have people with different issues, and especially when you are a leader in a society, people will tend to look at you of more being a politician. So I think one has to be brave enough, because these people, most of the time, they've suffered previously from different leadership, because someone will come up, promise them heavens, but at the end of the day, let me not use this, but I will use it. They are led to hell. So people now having an trust on someone else, because the seat will not be left in vacuum. There has to be someone to fill the seat. Then yeah, you come up, you take the fight, see where you're gonna lead your society. Yes.
Wow, that is a powerful woman speaking. Let me ask, how much have you prepared yourself to run for office as a youth representative for Kiambu County? And what is your agenda? Because like you have said, there are two kinds of leadership that many of our Kenyan people, maybe what we have experienced so much is people who come into office, but they do not fulfill the promises that they have laid. What are your plans, and what are you aiming at to give to the Kiambu constituents?
I do believe, though I've heard it's not like, similar to those other places, because Kiambu, we have, I've always had people tell me or discourage me, telling me that Kiambu is an area of rich people, asking me how I'm going to penetrate. But what I believe always in is the way you associate yourself with the society, the people back there. Because most of those people who have money, rarely would you see them come and mingle with the people down there. But let me say, I've been brought up in Kiambu. I went to school, primary school in Kiambu. I've grown there, so, and I know most of the problems that I went through, they've not really changed. They're like the same problems.
Like which problems?
One, Kiambu is a place, let me break the myth. It is not true that everyone who lives in Kiambu is rich, or everyone who lives in Kiambu are able to live above the $1 mark.
Yeah.
The reality is we have so many people who are suffering in Kiambu. In Kiambu, there are slums. And I remember there's a forum where I challenged some donors, because I've realized that everyone who comes to Kenya, they are always directed to Kibera. But the reality is, and I will always tell people that, if you go to Kibera, the outside may look very appealing and someone will want to sympathize with them. But when you get in those houses, you'd be shocked. The kind of lifestyle that they are living in. When you go to Kiambu, one, people have really struggled to put up a shelter. Secondly, in those houses, they do not have those lavish seats. They do not have big screens. I mean, I know a number of them that are sleeping hungry. So it is, I think it's a high time that people come and realize that Kiambu is not how it used to be long time ago. When they used to do farming, they would earn from farming. Right now, they are not even learned to farm.
So what are your plans to solve, or what are you thinking about, solving some of these problems that the Kiambu people are going through as if you are elected or when you're elected to office?
Okay, maybe I can clarify that, because the seat is not an elective seat. It is a seat that I'm seeking to be nominated. So what I've done as a young person, which I know a number of young people out there are not aware of, you need to align yourself with a political party, because these political parties, it's a requirement that 3 months before the elections, they should have passed a list of 15 people whom they seek to nominate. Because the nomination of the persons is going to be determined by how advanced or how popular the party has
the
been
number
in
of
the
votes
area.
that the party will have garnered.
Yeah, as a young person already I have a party that I've aligned myself with. Then the other thing, I've been going through Kiambu County. I attended a workshop with Youth Agenda, and I was handpicked as an ambassador of Vision 2030. So I've done a number of forums in Kiambu County, whereby I just go meet the young people, the old, and what I'm really trying to get is information on what we can do to Kiambu to advance the economy of the area. That way, I believe we will be able to alleviate poverty from the area. Then the other thing that we are doing with a group of some young youths that were elected at the National Youth Council, which I was part of, we went ahead and we've negotiated in a local primary school for them to allow us to have some space where we can have the Gumbaru. Gumbaru is where those people who were school dropouts.
Yeah, like the adult education.
The adult education, which is well captured in Vision 2030. We've not had any funding, but what we are doing is we went ahead, we negotiated with some teachers who can take them for either case to take them through to be able to sit for KCP, and take them through to be able to sit for KCSE at only a rate of an affordable rate. We negotiated 700 per month. Someone is able to attend their classes between 8 in the morning to 12. Yeah, so that is one of the things that we are doing, and that one is still in alignment to being able to be parallel, or to be parallel with the vision, whatever is anticipated in Vision 2030, especially in the social pillar, whereby education is very key for the people to succeed. Yeah.
I tend to think that when we talk about youth and youthful leadership, many a times the word youth, in my opinion, is we look at the men or the male youth, and little is said about the female youth. While you are in the field, probably, do you feel like it's a challenge for you to run as a woman? Do you feel like your voice is heard just in as much as the male youth are heard, or do you feel you're bypassed by some of the programs that need to be happening to the youth collectively?
Let me say, of late, I've realized the perception of the youths have really changed, because they're not. Previously, there was the male domination. But of late, I've realized the male youth acknowledges the female youth, especially if they're able to see that you have an agenda. And again, if they're able to see that you are someone that they can rely on. Unlike when you meet the older leaders. The older leaders, even if you went with maybe a team of youth and maybe you're the one who leads them, as a female, I always see there's
A gap.
yeah, there's something that, there's a gap. Yeah, but I thank God, because with time I'm seeing ourselves as youth working together. Then the other thing maybe I would want to clarify on, because previously or before we got this constitution, there's a place where I went and told people, my argument is, when it came to passing this constitution, the youth participated fully. Most youths who represents a bigger percentage in the country are the people who voted in for the constitution. But when it came to, or as we've seen the things stability in the constitution being implemented, you realize that the youths are forgotten.
Yeah.
Why or how? Most of the time when we have the youth representative, they will come in and maybe get someone who is over 40, 50 years to be a youth representative. But maybe I want to make a clarification that it's not a youth representative. It should be a youthful person between the age of 18
and
to
35.
Yeah, I think that is something that needs to be clear to the policymakers.
Good.
Yeah.
So maybe Helen again, we have a woman running for the top seat, the presidency. What do you think are her chances in Kenya? Are we really ready for a woman president as a Kenyan people?
What I'll say is, as I said earlier, we are ready. But the trick remains, whereby the perspective of the Kenyan community, the culture of the Kenyan community, and she can or she cannot win. But the support will come from us.
Where us is
Us
Kenyans or
is
as
Kenyans.
women?
Us as Kenyans. Forget about a woman here. This is going to be the leader for all. So it is us. What do we want? When you talk of a leader, do we even understand what a leader is? You see, that's where we go wrong in so many areas when we elect a leader.
There are people who think that women, we come in with a lot of emotions, and there is that scare that we are going to be too emotional while passing judgment or making tough decisions. And I really don't know if that is true. I keep on thinking that as human beings, every human being has emotions, and they show them in different ways. But there are people who think that women, we, like it happened some time back, of seeing youthful women leaders or young women leaders being emotional in through the media. What do you think? Is that affecting how the public sees us as women, or should we just have the pain inside of us and not show it out?
What I can confidently say is that for a woman leader to go to a certain position, by the time she gets there, she has toughened up. Because from what you've gone through, from what she's going to go through, by the time she becomes a president or a vice or a CEO, that woman has toughened up to be like a man. And I do not think you'll have room to be emotional to that extent. That woman part of you is fought. And once you get to that level, you make a decision like any other man. And I'm sure you even make it better. We women make it better.
What do you think about that, Julie?
I think we really need intensive training on women leaders. I'm sorry, but this is something that always the men will use against us. Take an example of the case that has been in the media for the last like three weeks on Nancy Baraza. Is someone who is very prominent, but she acted emotionally. That is my belief. I think, yeah, we need to have a training on leaders, either on or before we take the seat, or even after, for grooming. Because naturally, the way God made us, yeah, at times we become so emotional. It's not something that you can avoid. But with training, I believe we can change them. Then when it comes to maybe the top seats of the country, that is the CEO, I also believe that a woman leader can do it better even than a man. Because take an example of a household where maybe the lady of the house is working and the gentleman is not working. Most of the time it succeeds. Yeah, I mean it succeeds on a higher rate as compared to when maybe a man is the only man, the man of the house is the only one who is working, and the woman is not working. Yeah, the woman will go do farming and those other jobs. So I believe if Kenyans can decide that maybe they can give the vote to whoever will come up as interested in the CEO position of the country, then I'm not seeing any big deal. Yeah.
I also think that probably because when you talk to many people, I always say, many of us say our mothers are our role models.
Yeah.
And if you look at a household that is headed by a woman, probably you